our cloud map, and so that we have kind of an atmosphere and weather patterns. And so, of course, this is our first attempt, and it's the basic, most common attempt when attempting to do kind of any sort of Perlin noise-based procedural planet. And basically what we're doing here is we're taking one pass of Perlin noise, and we're just color mapping it, where the blacks are going to kind of be our ocean. So we've got our ocean here, and then as we go up towards white, we create the rest of our planet. So this is where the topmost elevation point is, and we've got a snowy peak that doesn't quite blend into our next level of elevation, which we've defined as green, and which doesn't quite, well, I guess it blends better, but doesn't quite fully blends into our next part, which is our browns for our kind of coastline. And the biggest problem with that is that it assumes that there's a uniform distribution of these colors, where essentially if I have a landmass, every single edge of the landmass is all at the same elevation, and as we move closer into the center of the landmass, it gets taller. In real life, this is not necessarily the case. Sometimes you'll have beaches that are very, very long and they're very, very shallow water, and then 100 miles away you're going to have sharp cliff face with really, really deep water, and so this doesn't quite give us the effect that we're looking for. So we'll start with the ocean layer, and the first thing we do is we do basic Perlin noise, and we color map it. And this one already generates a pretty decent color map. We're just using alternating kind of darks and light blues and merging them together. But the next thing we want to do is we do a subtract pass. So we're going to do 5 iterations of difference blending, and then we're going to blend them with the subtract mode to try and generate a bit of currents. You can't really see them on this one, but potentially, oh, there we go. So when we do an additive pass on top of that, we start getting these kind of wispy lines and kind of give us more of a current pattern throughout our ocean. Now every time we do this, because it's procedural and it's all completely random, sometimes you get better effects than others, but this kind of gives the idea of the effect. And the next thing we want to do is polar layer. So polar layers are kind of tricky because we can't just use Perlin noise, because Perlin noise would fill up this entire area and we'd have like these big blobs just sitting in the middle. And because the poles are at the top and the bottom, there's no real way that we can constrain Perlin noise to just affect and give us a continent shape here and a continent shape there. So we're going to have to do something a little bit different, but still based off of the same principles of Perlin noise. So we've created 2 rectangles.